Are you getting married and looking for the right person to help? Well, CMJ Entertainment, Toronto's top event planning company, is there to help. They have everything you need to make your day special. With their top DJs, limousine service, videographer, and photographer. Or maybe you just need your decor for that wow factor. For all your entertainment and planning needs, call them at 416-414-8964 or online at cmjentertainment.com. Your one-stop shop.
You want to see and witness what pure sports and competition is like. When you come to Special Olympics, get involved because it's about choices and chances. The choice is yours to help or not help. The chance is that the Special Olympics athletes deserve a chance to compete. Without your help, that chance is hard to come by.
Special Olympics Ontario would like you to get involved. Go to peelgames2017.com/participate to find out how you can donate, participate, and volunteer.
Creating a vital, healthy, informed community is a group effort, and at the heart of it, you'll find the Toronto Caribbean newspaper, focusing on the needs of the community, seeking out relationships with businesses and organizations which share in that same mission. The Toronto Caribbean newspaper is fueled by committed people who are passionate about building a better tomorrow by empowering the community, by adding value, by instilling self-worth, and by showcasing the cultural identity of our beautiful and ethnically diverse community. The Toronto Caribbean newspaper. Stand tall and be proud. Call 647-722-6298 or visit torontocaribbean.com.
Broker Financial Group Inc. Broker license number 12619. Whether you need a pre-approval, to refinance, or looking to renew your mortgage, call Charles Iodele. Charles Iodele has access to banks, trust companies, and private lenders to ensure you get the best unbiased mortgage plan every time. Charles Iodele will not only get you a mortgage, but help you find your dream home. Let Charles Iodele's experience and expertise work for you. Call mortgage agent Charles Iodele at 416-875-4523 or visit financesbycharles.ca.
Tune in to Real Talk, Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. The talk show about your community, valuable insights and opinions, news and views, interesting guests, plus your calls. Real Talk with your hosts Grant and Alyssa, Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. on Caribe 101. Brought to you by Roger Day Voiceovers, radio commercials, DJ drops, on-hold phone messages, and more. www.rogerdey.com. Are you young and ambitious? Want to do big things but don't know where to go to get reliable information that you can trust? On May 7th, join us at the Toronto Caribbean Business Social, an event tailored for the new generation of entrepreneurs and business owners answering questions about how to start your own business, build your personal brand, manage your time, take control of your life, and use your creativity to go from passion to paycheck. Hosted by international renowned comedians Mark Trinidad and Jay Martin, come experience keynote speeches in person by Canadian rapper and actress Mishi Me, Canadian rapper, record producer, and actor Maestro Fresh West, retail magician and inspirational speaker Daniel Lewis, and many more. Live performances by Mishi Me, international R&B sensation Carlos Morgan, and international singer-songwriter Chelsea Stewart. Also backed by popular demand, Brazilian samba dancers Tropicana Queens. Grand prize draw is over $5,000 in tools to help you propel your business. Take advantage of this opportunity to network with influential entrepreneurs and prominent business owners. Sunday, May 7th, attend the Toronto Caribbean Business Social inside the Pearson Convention Center, 2638 Steeles Avenue East, Brampton. For tickets, log on to eventbrite.ca or for more information, call 647-722-6298.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakthrough Show. Me, your host and Breakthrough partner, Brandon V, here on Caribe 101 Radio. The radio show without boundaries. Oh my goodness, we're having an amazing time right here. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had a blast this weekend. I had an amazing weekend. I'm very. It was actually one of those epiphany moments. It was a paradigm shift because I actually got initiated into Reiki.
Ah.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, well, what is this? I didn't, and it was something that somebody said, okay, you need to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's just go with it. Yes.
Another one of those.
Say yes, but feel the fear anyway. So I went in, I got it done. I got to tell you, it was an amazing, amazing experience, and I really enjoyed it. And so, yeah, I'm gonna try it out and see what happens, see how I can heal myself and heal the world.
Beautiful.
Heal the world at the same time. So, guys, I hope you had an amazing weekend. It is Monday's a fresh new week. If your last week didn't turn out the way it should have done, you have a brand new week to make it happen. Change it. Change it. You are not a tree. You can move. You can change whatever you want to make it happen. Guys, I'm in the studio here, and I've been having a blast with this lady. This lady, we had the amazing chance to meet on a show called The Dynamo Show with James Carl Ert. I love saying his name, James Carl Ert. It sounds like a designer.
It does.
Right?
And especially when you say it.
Is it James Carl Ert?
He needs you to follow him around.
He really does. I need to introduce him every single time. So, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, you can listen to us on any device at Caribe101.com. That's Caribe101.com on any cell phone, any tablet, any desktop, any laptop. Take us with you. Let us be your traveling partner. It'll be awesome. Thank you for sharing the time with us. Or, better still, you can go on to Caribe 101 Radio on Facebook, and you can actually tune in and see us live and check out the word that I always use every week, the shenanigans that goes on inside the studio right now. Right now, right this second. I got to tell you, this lady, I've been looking forward, and we had a great time, and we connected at the Dynamo Show, and just her energy, her joy, her happiness. I knew this is a lady that fits the Breakthrough Show. She's a walking breakthrough.
That is very kind.
There you go. So I would like to welcome to the show. Now, I hope I say this right, because sometimes I butcher people's names. Now, you have a pretty straightforward name.
do.
But wait for this.
Okay.
Leanne Mallet.
That's it.
Did I say it correctly?
You did.
Yay!
We're off to a winning start.
We're off to a winning start. I can say her name. So welcome to the show,
Thank
Leanne.
you very much.
Do you prefer Lee or Leanne?
Leanne is fine.
Leanne is
Yes.
fine. Great. So did you come in from far?
I came here. I live in Port Credit, Mississauga, Ontario.
So you had to travel eons to get here.
I know. I'm a half a block from the lake. We can look down the street and
Okay.
walk to the lake in 2 minutes. It's gorgeous.
So boat, plane, and train.
Yes, it took forever.
Okay. Did you row yourself?
I did.
You rowed your boat.
It's a metaphor for life.
There you go.
We're just handing out the wisdom here.
There you go. Take it. Nuggets, guys. Get a pen and paper. It's about to happen. So, guys, Leanne, thank you so much for saying yes to being on the show. I know there's a lot to you, and everybody knows I don't like to creep people's Facebook pages or get to know anything about them, because I really want to hear a lot of things for the first time from you.
Okay.
So the question I always ask everybody gets on the show is, tell us what was little Leanne's thought pattern for life when you kind of came to the understanding of, I want to do this in life. What was that? Because usually it's not what we're doing now. It's
right.
Like, I have a plan to be a cooker.
Yes.
So, what was little Leanne's plan in life, and what was Mom and Dad's plan for Leanne's life?
Well, I grew up in St. Thomas, Ontario.
Oh, so you as
small
Canadian's
town,
Canadian, eh?
Canadian as Canadian can be, southwestern Ontario. My dad worked on the line at Ford.
Okay.
And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. We were one of those really traditional families in a small town. From the time I was little, I loved animals and I loved being kind. I just had this thing in me, truly.
I can see that.
I was, I brought home stray animals. I was the kid at school that always made friends with the new kid. Like, it's just, I think, as you know, when you have kids, they really come out as a lot as who they are.
Yeah, totally.
And for me, I was really, really blessed to have a happy gene.
Yeah.
I have always had a deep sense of optimism and joy and happiness just for being here.
So you always saw the good in people and in
I did.
things.
I did. And living in a small town, you get to know lots of people, and there's just this feeling of community. But really, I wrote my first protest letter when I was 9 years old.
9 years old.
9 years
and you were
old.
already protesting.
I was, because
Where was the optimism in that?
Well, I think it was just thinking that I could change things. That if something moved believed me that I could do something about it. And that was from my parents were my, small town folks. My dad was working a blue collar job, and my parents had a real belief that you help people wherever you can. You help out wherever you can. My dad was the kind of guy that if you were broken down at the side of the road with your car, he stopped and helped.
Okay.
My mom, if I had one of my teenage friends who needed help, they could come and stay at our house.
Okay.
And so, when I became an activist, my mom said to me, like, how did this happen? And I said, it was you. It was you and Dad.
It's
and
your fault for being so nice.
Well, and really, if you think of being kind and always acting from a place of kindness and trying to make the world a better place, that's where it leads you. And for me, that was instilled in me, is that we can make a difference, and we should make a difference wherever we can. And, from that protest letter, I wrote to Pierre Elliott Trudeau, which gives you a sense of how old I am. And I am a completely happy 51-year-old woman who is not shy about sharing her age.
You'd never guess that.
Which is very kind. It's happy living. It's
see, now you have a reason
you.
to tune into Facebook Live. Now you can actually see that she looks like she's 13.
Thank you. But really, I think that I wrote that letter, and my concern at that time was about humane issues around the Canadian seal hunt. And so I wrote that letter off, and I got a response from, it was probably a response from, some assistant. But I realized that if you reach out, you can start talking to people. You can start changing things.
Okay.
And that really stuck with me. And as I went to university, and my parents, I'm sure their dream for me was a good job, and if possible, to be a doctor.
Okay.
Because I was really great at sciences.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, my dream was to be a veterinarian. Then what I began to realize that veterinarians spend a lot of time doing is putting down people's pets, because there is that end of life thing that happens with people's cats and dogs. And I thought, there is no way I can do that. That reality where you think, I'm going to spend my day with animals and taking care of them. And then it dawned on me, oh my goodness, I could not do this.
Okay.
But I went into Western, I was in sciences, and I started at that point, I had a number of friends who were gay, and this was in the late 80s, and they started to die very, very early in life.
Yeah.
So, the first friend of mine that died of AIDS was 21.
Okay.
And so suddenly I was a person at that time who was terrified of public speaking. I couldn't give a presentation in front of a room of 15 students when I was in university. But,
really?
Yeah, terrified of public speaking. Believe it or not, I know.
I know. Knowing the person I know now, I was like, really? That's weird.
I remember giving a presentation in front of a social psych class and shaking.
Well, we got Casey Singh saying, laugh out loud, yes, become a doctor, haha. That's what parents usually say. I know that too well.
Yes, and especially if you love sciences. And in Western, my cohort of science students, everybody was fighting to get into med school.
Absolutely.
And what I thought to myself is I found my voice through HIV and AIDS activism.
Okay.
Because it was very controversial at that time, and I became a volunteer. I was visiting people in the hospital who were sick. I was going out and doing education in the community.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I realized that I can speak publicly and it was that discovery of my voice and being able to make a difference.
Absolutely.
And there I was at Western, which is not the most political school. It was quite conservative.
Okay.
But I found this little knot of people who were working on anti-apartheid issues around South Africa.
Okay.
Which, remember back then, right? Like it was all, Sun City and anti-apartheid. And that was my first time standing in a lobby, getting people to sign petitions.
Okay.
So it was this step-by-step process of realizing that I could make a difference. But I didn't want to be a doctor, and I didn't want to be a veterinarian. So I spent my time at Western actually studying neurophysiology, because what I was really fascinated with was how our brains work.
How the brain works.
Yeah, because that's us, right?
That's, pretty much,
At the end
that's
of
where
the
it
day,
happens.
it was fascinating. And when I got to my fourth year, the logical thing was that you go on to grad school.
Yeah.
And I thought, I cannot imagine anything worse than being in a lab somewhere. One of the great neurophysiology profs took me to his lab. And at that time, he was working on a visual study with monkeys. And for me, the sense of having to work with these little primates that were, and I walked into his lab, I looked around, and he said, "You're never coming back here, are you?" And I said,
he could
"Hell
just
no."
see it all over you. It was like, oh,
I was like,
boy.
"This is not my thing.
Here goes another one.
This is not my thing." And so what I thought is, I want to do something where I can get out into the world and make a difference. So I went and did my Bachelor of Education. And I had entered school early, so I was blasting through.
You know what? That's gonna be the next chapter. We have to run to a very quick commercial break.
That was fast.
I know, right? I told you.
It's going to take at least 3 shows to get through this.
There you go. This is series 1.
In an epic.
In an epic, yeah. This is going to be episode 1 of
like,
series 1.
Okay.
So I just want to give a shout out to Casey Singh, who says, "Wow, you're such a beautiful being."
Thank you. That's lovely to hear. It is.
Casey Singh. Also, we're saying we want to say a shout out to Wayne Moland. We're saying, "Great morning, everybody." Wayne Moland of the Echo Movement, who's doing some amazing things.
Yes.
I know you know Wayne.
Yes.
You're doing some amazing things out there. Also, somebody else, Armin Shafi. We want to say good morning to you, Armin. He is the founder of Reborn, which is... he's got a huge event actually coming on March 25th, very, very soon. You guys want to go and check this out. Check it out. You can register at march25th.evanbright.com. That's march25th.evanbright.com. An amazing event going on right now. Happy Nowruz. It's the Persian day of spring.
Beautiful.
So it's
it's the spring equinox
yes,
as well.
That's right. So
happy
exactly.
Spring.
So happy spring to all our Persian friends and everybody around.
Yeah.
Everyone. Let's spring forward. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will catch you after these messages.
Are you getting married and looking for the right person to help? Well, CMJ Entertainment, Toronto's top event planning company, is there to help. They have everything you need to make your day special, with their top DJs, limousine service, videographer, and photographer. Or maybe you just need your decor for that wow factor. For all your entertainment and planning needs, call them at 416-414-8964 or online at cmjentertainment.com. Your one-stop shop.
You want to see and witness what pure sports and competition is like. When you come to Special Olympics, get involved because it's about choices and chances. The choice is yours to help or not help. The chance is that the Special Olympics athletes deserve a chance to compete. Without your help, that chance is hard to come by.
Special Olympics Ontario would like you to get involved. Go to peelgames2017.com/participate to find out how you can donate, participate, and volunteer.
Broker Financial Group Inc. Broker license number 12619. Whether you need a pre-approval, to refinance, or looking to renew your mortgage, call Charles Iodele. Charles Iodele has access to banks, trust companies, and private lenders to ensure you get the best unbiased mortgage plan every time. Charles Iodele will not only get you a mortgage, but help you find your dream home. Let Charles Iodele's experience and expertise work for you. Call mortgage agent Charles Iodele at 416-875-4523 or visit financesbycharles.ca.
Tune in to Real Talk, Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. The talk show about your community. Valuable insights and opinions, news and views, interesting guests, plus your calls. Real Talk with your hosts, Grant and Alyssa. Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. on Caribe 101. Brought to you by Roger Day Voiceovers. Radio commercials, DJ drops, on-hold phone messages, and more. www.rogerdey.com. Are you young and ambitious? Want to do big things but don't know where to go to get reliable information that you can trust? On May 7th, join us at the Toronto Caribbean Business Social, an event tailored for the new generation of entrepreneurs and business owners answering questions about how to start your own business, build your personal brand, manage your time, take control of your life, and use your creativity to go from passion to paycheck. Hosted by international renowned comedians Mark Trinidad and Jay Martin, come experience keynote speeches in person by Canadian rapper and actress Mishi Me, Canadian rapper, record producer and actor Maestro Fresh West, retail magician and inspirational speaker Daniel Lewis, and many more. Live performances by Mishi Me, international R&B sensation Carlos Morgan, and international singer-songwriter Chelsea Stewart. Also backed by popular demand, Brazilian samba dancers Tropicana Queens. Grand prize draw is over $5,000 in tools to help you propel your business. Take advantage of this opportunity to network with influential entrepreneurs and prominent business owners. Sunday, May 7th, attend the Toronto Caribbean Business Social inside the Pearson Convention Center, 2638 Steeles Avenue East, Brampton. For tickets, log on to eventbrite.ca or for more information, call 647-722-6298.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakthrough Show with me, your host and Breakthrough partner, Brandon V, here on Caribe 101 Radio, the radio show without boundaries.
No boundaries here.
No boundaries. Absolutely no boundaries whatsoever.
Healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
But other than that, no boundaries.
Depending on which show you're listening into. So, guys, this is Brandon V, the Breakthrough Show here. Thank you so much. If you're tuning in for the first time, you can catch us on Caribe101radio.com, Caribe101.com on any device, or you can actually stream in live on Facebook on Caribe 101 Radio. Join our fan page, like our fan page. Put down a comment. We want to give a big shout out to Ryan Anderson listening in from, I believe he's in Utah at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. You got somebody who's listening in from the UK, Sahel Jivraj.
We are international.
Welcome. International listening in. He says, gotta love Brandon. Yes, you have to love me. You have no choice.
No.
Ryan, no choice.
Otherwise,
whatsoever.
You're immediately cut off.
Exactly.
Your transmissions
Just for you. Everybody else can listen in.
There should be a button for that.
There should be a button for that.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for commenting. So we have our special guest, Leanne Mellett, who inside the show of The Breakthrough is telling us some interesting facts about her early childhood.
Yes.
So take us where we left off. You were in a position where you decided that you love to study the brain.
Yes.
And you thought you were kind of heading in one direction, whereas I think your real joy was how the brain ticks and what makes it do what it does and makes us act the way we act.
Yes. At least there's an explanation for all of that.
So long as there's an explanation for it, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, I loved sciences, but I did not want to go through the whole process of being a grad student, getting my PhD. So I went and did my Bachelor of Education at the University of Windsor, and I became a high school science teacher. And I had entered university. I loved school, so I was accelerated through school. So I graduated after 5 years when I was 22 and started teaching high school science in Moulton. At what at that point was Westwood Secondary School. And I loved the teaching, loved being with students. And I also was getting really deeply involved with environmental activism because that's, going back to loving animals and loving nature. I got really interested in how do I become an environmental activist? And I thought, there must be a school for it, or how do you get into that? And so during my summer.
How old were you at this point?
I was 22. So
so
I thought to myself, I was still involved with HIV and AIDS activism. I sat on the Toronto PWA Foundation Board of Directors. I was doing a lot of volunteering. So between the 2 years that I taught high school science, I decided to become a door-to-door fundraiser canvasser for Greenpeace. I thought, this is how I'm going to learn to be an activist. And I will tell you, there is no better education for marketing and sales
than getting a door slammed in your face.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you are going door to door, cold. We did have some cards in our hands from people that had donated the year before in some neighborhood, but you were walking up to doors with, this deep belief in protecting the planet, and that was about it, right? And of course, the beautiful history of Greenpeace.
Yeah.
But that door-to-door canvassing, that I did that for 2 months.
What an education.
It was incredible.
And resilience.
Yes. You're out in the rain, and when you do the best, as a door-to-door fundraiser is when the weather is bad.
Because you speed up pace.
Well, and because people are like, she must be committed if she's out in the pouring rain. I'd be standing there with, yes.
Come in.
And what it taught me is how to get across ideas in a really clear manner.
And a short period of time.
Yeah, and because you've got a brief moment to connect with people, get an idea across. If they say no, that's okay. You can't take that and make it personal. And if they say yes, then you've been able to connect with somebody about something that you find important together.
See, I did the door-to-door canvassing thing for glazing for windows.
See, again, but isn't that amazing marketing training?
It was, it taught me how to take no's.
Yes.
And how to take abuse and understand that it was based from their point of view and not personal.
Yeah.
And when you understand it's not personal, then you can take it and you realize, okay.
Well, and that takes you anywhere, whether that is getting across ideas when you're doing, if you're speaking, it's when you're any kind of sales.
Yeah.
Because to me, selling is anything from being a parent, because we are always selling our ideas, aren't we? Or we're
100%.
trying.
Yeah,
Right?
often lose, but at least we try.
Activism, any kind of business, we are always in the business of selling. So that was a great experience for me. But what it led me into is I thought, I want to be on the front lines.
Yes.
So by the second year of me teaching high school, I was also getting involved with what they call direct action wilderness activism, which was holding protests. Our first big protest was closing down Queen's Park for an afternoon to protest logging in ancient forests in Temagami.
Wow.
It was the first thing I'd ever been involved with. There was 50 people who came and sat in front of all the different doors going into Queen's Park. I think there were 7 different doors.
Okay.
And they actually would, you would see the camera for question period, and there was nobody in there because it was that easy to close down Queen's Park, is just having a bunch of nice people who cared about ancient forests sitting in, and it was cold.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever did a media interview. I remember a CBC camera person came up to me and he said, okay, I'm going to do an interview with you. Go. And I went, and he said, first time, right? And I was like,
you could tell.
Yeah. So again, it was that, as we were talking about, it's, when you're speaking to people and you're just looking into a camera, it's very different than getting the feedback of a conversation with somebody you know or in a bigger venue. But what I found is I had a real talent for getting ideas across in media. And I also really wanted to be on the front lines of environmentalism. So that's where I went. I left teaching.
I think one of your key things
that.
is because, I'm sure anybody could attest to this who knows you, that what you get behind is something you're truly passionate about.
Oh, yeah.
So much so that it literally permeates every cell of your DNA.
All
that
in.
When you stand in front, it's like, you're not just hearing my voice, it's like you just get this energy impact of, listen, you have to hear what the situation, what the issue is here, right?
Yeah. But that's a great way to live.
Absolutely.
Right, like it is that all in feeling.
Yes.
And so for me, that was around, there was a large protest in British Columbia in an area called Clayoquot Sound, where there was a logging company going into this pristine ancient forest, never been touched.
Okay.
And there were hundreds of people, I think there was close to 1,000 people who were arrested standing on the entrance to the logging road. So they would go out and do, the real Gandhian type of nonviolent civil disobedience. They would stand in the road and then be arrested, and then the logging company would go through.
Okay.
And I had driven out there with my then boyfriend, and in our travels, we ended up at what was called the Clayoquot Sound Peace Camp. We went to one of the blockades, and I thought, I don't want to be taken away in 5 minutes. That doesn't, that's a great statement, but I want to stop something. So we met a group of people, and for 5 days, I trained in tree climbing, and then we went, it took us an hour to boat in during the night, and then this big hike, and I went and climbed 80 feet up into a 500-year-old ancient cedar and sat there for 3 days on this tiny little 4x3 foot platform to bring attention to logging in ancient forests.
At that point, this brings about exactly what this guy is saying. Sean Karp is saying winning.
I might know that guy. That might be my husband.
So he knows that you're winning.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Sean, well done. Well done, sir. Because I can imagine being married to this woman is going to be a challenge sometimes. So easy. No problem. I can imagine you just hearing something on TV, picking up your flag, your backpack, and I'm going.
I'm gone. And see, those experiences, number one, I was terrified of heights when I did that climb. And I learned the basics of climbing, and that was it. I was up there because I really
80 feet
cared.
high.
80 feet high. It was high.
Standing on a platform.
What we did, because we wanted to be environmentally responsible, is I had a third of a piece of reused plywood. It was 4 feet wide by 3 feet.
Okay.
And I was up there. I did not come down for 3 days until I was, a RCMP search and rescue climber came up to arrest me.
Okay.
And that was, and then they removed me from the tree. But you know what I realized is one person can make a massive difference. Like I stopped machinery, right? Like it was powerful. So when I came back, I just knew. I just went through really 3 or 4 years and I was always a volunteer at that time.
Okay.
So I was volunteering, I was doing protests around Clayoquot Sound, and finally I got involved with an organization called Earth Roots. And I got my first nonprofit job because Earth Roots was an organization that was focused on saving ancient forests, particularly in Temagami in northern Ontario. Okay. And they had been saying if there's ever logging in old growth forest there again, we're going to mount protests. And then they said, we have to hire somebody that actually knows how to do this. And it just so happened it was me. So I ended up for 3 months from the end of August when it was 35 degrees Celsius and a heat wave till the end of November when there was 2 feet of snow and it was minus 20 degrees, facilitating running an ancient forest blockade camp. We lived up there for 3 months. And what we did is we mounted protests where people were willing to risk arrest or they were there to witness around stopping the logging of old growth forests in this area called Owain Lake. And in that, I had actually met with the police beforehand up in Temagami and said, you know, we're peaceful protesters. Here's our issue. And they said, that's great. And I said, you know, I won't be risking arrest, but I will be the spokesperson and you'll be connecting with me. And in the third day of our road blockade, all 13, OPP vehicles came in. And there was just this rumbling that came along this logging road. And I had this wonderful friend who worked for the Toronto Star. A number of reporters were in with us. We were way back in the wilderness. And he walked up and he said, Leanne, I don't feel like this looks good for you right now. And I said, oh, no, I've had this agreement. I'm just a spokesperson. And they arrested me first.
If we take the ringleader, everybody else will fall.
And that was the notion.
Was it.
And I ended up spending 10 days in jail.
Oh, wow.
So that because I had to remain in jail so that I could fight this order that was going to have me removed from the area. So it was an amazing experience.
So Sean also says, thanks, Brandon. She truly is my better half after telling me that you got arrested.
Oh.
Well done, sir. Well done.
But, you know, it's incredible to be when you realize that you can stand up for something and make that big an impact and that people really get the sense of how committed you are if you're willing to
And sometimes you have to be the person who's willing to take that impact first. Because there's a saying that goes, when a brave person takes a stand, the spines of many others stiffen.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
And there has to be somebody to take the stand first for everybody else behind to stand up straight to say yes, because that person has stiffened their back. Well done.
Very nice.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, pay some bills, and we'll be coming back with some major nuggets from Leanne Mallet.
Are you getting married and looking for the right person to help? Well, CMJ Entertainment, Toronto's top event planning company, is there to help. They have everything you need to make your day special. With their top DJs, limousine service, videographer, and photographer. Or maybe you just need your decor for that wow factor. For all your entertainment and planning needs, call them at 416-414-8964 or online at cmjentertainment.com. Your one-stop shop.
You want to see and witness what pure sports and competition is like. When you come to Special Olympics, get involved because it's about choices and chances. The choice is yours to help or not help. The chance is that the Special Olympics athletes deserve a chance to compete. Without your help, that chance is hard to come by.
Special Olympics Ontario would like you to get involved. Go to peelgames2017.com/participate to find out how you can donate, participate, and volunteer.
Broker Financial Group Inc. Broker license number 12619. Whether you need a pre-approval, to refinance, or looking to renew your mortgage, call Charles Iodele. Charles Iodele has access to banks, trust companies, and private lenders to ensure you get the best unbiased mortgage plan every time. Charles Iodele will not only get you a mortgage, but help you find your dream home. Let Charles Iodele's experience and expertise work for you. Call mortgage agent Charles Iodele at 416-875-4523 or visit financesbycharles.ca.
Tune in to Real Talk, Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. The talk show about your community, valuable insights and opinions, news and views, interesting guests, plus your calls. Real Talk with your hosts Grant and Alyssa, Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. on Caribe 101. Brought to you by Roger Day Voiceovers, radio commercials, DJ drops, on-hold phone messages, and more. www.rogerdey.com. Are you young and ambitious? Want to do big things but don't know where to go to get reliable information that you can trust? On May 7th, join us at the Toronto Caribbean Business Social, an event tailored for the new generation of entrepreneurs and business owners answering questions about how to start your own business, build your personal brand, manage your time, take control of your life, and use your creativity to go from passion to paycheck. Hosted by international renowned comedians Mark Trinidad and Jay Martin, come experience keynote speeches in person by Canadian rapper and actress Mishi Me, Canadian rapper, record producer, and actor Maestro Fresh West, retail magician and inspirational speaker Daniel Lewis, and many more. Live performances by Mishi Me, international R&B sensation Carlos Morgan, and international singer-songwriter Chelsea Stewart. Also backed by popular demand, Brazilian samba dancers Tropicana Queens. Grand prize draw is over $5,000 in tools to help you propel your business. Take advantage of this opportunity to network with influential entrepreneurs and prominent business owners. Sunday, May 7th, attend the Toronto Caribbean Business Social inside the Pearson Convention Center, 2638 Steeles Avenue East, Brampton. For tickets, log on to eventbrite.ca or for more information, call 647-722-6298.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakthrough Show with me, your host and Breakthrough partner, Brandon V. Here on Caribe 101.
I want to learn how to do that. I want to talk like that all the time. Don't you think life would be better if everybody did that?
If everybody just had this hi. That would actually, I just picture that out in the real world, and that would sound really creepy.
It would kind of scare people a little, but here it's perfect.
My name's Brandon V. How are you? That'd be like, let's arrest this guy.
That would be your first activism.
That would be my first activism. I'm here for a radio show hosts who speak like this.
We have exceeded the boundary of how much fun we can have.
Oh, we've gone way past that. We broke through. There you go. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Breakthrough Show. You can follow us on Caribe101.com anywhere on any device, and you can also watch in on Caribe 101 Radio on our Facebook fan page. Like our page, give us a comment. Let us know if you've got to chime in. If you have any questions for our special guest, Leanne Mallet, then please let us know. Let us know. So, Leanne, okay, take us down this road.
Fast forward. So, direct wilderness activist.
Okay.
I became executive director of 2 different nonprofits because as I went from a volunteer, I had been a teacher, I had been in community health, and then as I went into
so you had some
nonprofit,
skills.
Yeah, I had. And what's great, kids, get your education because it does not mean I took my Bachelor of Education and ended up in nonprofit leadership. So I became the executive director of Earth Roots, worked with them for 5 years, was the deputy director of the International Fund for Animal Welfare for a year in Ottawa, and then came back and thought I really want to get back into grassroots activism. And it just so happened that there was a position available with EcoSource, which was an environmental organization founded by Mayor Hazel McCallion.
Okay.
And she had founded it in 1978 to deal with litter. She was an anti-litter activist back, right when it began. And so I stepped in as executive director of EcoSource when it was a tiny organization. There was 3 of us focused on waste reduction education in schools. And over the 10 years I was there, we quadrupled the budget. And we expanded the programs. We went from 3 people to a staff of between 15 and 17 each year. And where we started out was working school by school. And by the time I'd been there for about 5 years, we were working with the entire Peel District School Board and working with Dufferin Peel around the idea of creating an environmental culture in schools. And what I realized is going from that kind of confrontational, standing on a logging road, those big actions, those are great. But when I met people who were talking to me about being an activist, they would say, thanks so much for what you're doing. I could never do that.
Right.
And I thought that is not what I wanted to get across. I wanted to empower people, not make them think I was some kind of, environmental, specialist. Yeah. Or something where they there's just those big actions which is too big for them to consider. Yeah. So with EcoSource, we were working with people in the community. We created the first community gardens on City of Mississauga land. We worked with school by school to reduce waste and increase kids' environmental activism. We started an urban agriculture project where we were growing food on city land for local food banks. Made all these beautiful connections, and it was through collaboration and community. And that's what really, I think, as an activist now, the idea is how do we reach people where they're at so they realize that each of us makes a difference?
Yes.
Because we do make a difference every day. And it's depending upon your choices every day, you can decide what that impact is.
Yeah.
So that's really, the nonprofit leadership also, I have such deep respect, both for entrepreneurs and for nonprofit leaders, because they're out there on the front lines doing everything from trying to deal with the ceiling that's leaking to, running, big events and working with funders. And it's a challenge to have that many hats. And I loved working with EcoSource as an executive director. And then in my early 40s, I decided to have kids.
Just stepping back very quickly. There's something that you touched on that I think is very, very important, and I think it's important to get out there as well, is people who are entrepreneurs and people who work as volunteers leading volunteers, are actually, in my opinion, more impactful, more resourceful than people have been educated to be CEOs.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you have a massive volunteer army, when you're a CEO, you can crack the whip. You can threaten people with their jobs. You can threaten people with their bonuses. You can threaten people into action. And a lot of the time has been my experience is that there's been a lot of threats in business to, oh, well, you know what, you better get this done. Otherwise, you know what, your job might be... When you get somebody who has to motivate a volunteer army into action, that you get into the mind and the heart and the spirit that they're like, let's go.
Yeah, and you have to believe in what you're inspiring them to do, and you have to show. One of my philosophies is I don't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
100%.
And that's servant leadership.
You have to lead from the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're working with people and you are side by side in working on those issues. And you're right. Like in terms of whether you're working with a nonprofit, whether you're leading volunteers or as entrepreneurs, really it's having that deep understanding of mission and what you want your impact to be. And then you just allow that energy to come out and connect with others. And that's what, when people are in business, they're saying, how do I stand out? Like now I work with clients as a coach, and I work with entrepreneurs. I do consulting in the nonprofit sector around philanthropy and fundraising. And it's all about, really, it is that idea, how do I stand out from the crowd? And it's like, by being yourself, by really explaining to people why what you're doing is important to you.
Yes.
And I think, as you said, like with a lot of a lot of nonprofit. I didn't train to be a
Yeah.
nonprofit executive director. I learned as I went.
Yeah.
And I think with entrepreneurs, they're learning as they go as well. And that
Yes.
you have to be powerfully driven to want to stick with that. There's a joke that entrepreneurs work 80 hours a week so that they can do their mission and avoid a 40-hour a week job. Right?
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing.
And don't you find that with a lot of people who are in volunteer work or who are entrepreneurs, because let's put it this way, if you're in volunteer work, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay, you're
Yes.
doing everything exactly the same.
Yes.
But do you agree that you can be an entrepreneur, that you can lift other people up, that you can give people a desire, that you can give people a way forward, but you can be poor while you're doing it,
Yeah.
knowing the end game? Because being an entrepreneur isn't, hey, listen, here's $100,000 per year, be an entrepreneur. No, it means that you're going to be poor. You're going to be on the breadline. You're going to suffer for many years saying, no, we can do this. We can do this. Here's financial freedom. Here's the way forward. Here's how you help this person. Here's how you help this, for the end game, not the beginning game.
The service. And the idea is that if you provide value, if you are actually
Yes.
serving others, then that's what moves your business forward. That's what moves your mission forward.
Yes.
It is really, going back to that idea of selling. One, I love selling and marketing and connecting because I think that's all about communication. And that's what I've been doing through my activism, through being an educator, through being a parent. It's all that idea of communication. So if
Yeah.
you believe in what you're doing, part of it is that people first of all don't really have that sense of their why. It's
Yes.
like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What's the important thing for you? And when they get that, a lot of people give up too early. And it doesn't mean that you have to bankrupt your family to be an entrepreneur. With a lot of my clients, they keep their job and they build their secondary business until they can transition. Like I know there's that kind of Tony Robbins, to take the island, you have to burn all the boats. And it's like, well, you can keep a canoe, right? Like there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
having a backup plan.
Yeah.
But it's the commitment, and it's a lot of it, as you know, it's work. It's elbow grease.
Yes.
It's that constant visibility and really showing people who you are and what you believe in, and that's what makes the difference.
And I think with that as well is that's a very valuable point, because it's a situation of, as you're doing that, it's like, look, this is where you don't have to have it now.
No.
It's when you talk to people and you talk about financial freedom, you talk about living the lifestyle, you talk about having enough money in your bank. It's not about money to be, hey, look at the cars I can have, look at the airplane I can. It's look at the money that we can have, so the money can do something. So that we
Exactly.
can have time at home with our family, that we can go to places and educate our children and give them that. So you don't have to have money in the bank right then, but so long as you can share to somebody the vision you have of where it is you're going to be, people will follow you.
Yeah, you don't
because
have
they
to have it
know-
all figured out.
No.
That's the thing, is people think I have to be perfect before I can
Yes.
teach you. That is, I have never, in all of these things that I've done, and some of them were really big, I never knew how to do it before I started. I just, as you said, you say yes, then you
Yes.
go, oh, and then you figure out how to do it and leap in.
Yeah.
And I think that's often what holds people back, is they think they have to be perfect
Yes.
before they can share with someone else. And that just, none of us are ever perfect.
Absolutely.
It's just, if you can share that wisdom and you can, and particularly when it comes to financial goals, to me, the idea of being financially successful is then you can share that with others. You can engage in philanthropy. You can donate to local causes you care about. So when you do well, then it allows you to do good for others, which is incredibly powerful.
Because I know that there's a lot of people out there who look at entrepreneurs in a very unforgiving way, in the respect of saying, how can you tell people that you can do this, that you can make money, and you can, have the lifestyle you want, and you can do this and you can do that when you don't have any money in your own pocket?
And but I think that you can know what that feeling is to be inspired, to take that first step. You don't have to be an expert in everything. You certainly, if you're going to be, for example, a coach, you should have a good sense of what that coaching relationship looks like, what the process is, educate yourself.
Yes.
But you don't have to be perfect. In the same way that I'm sure that Bill Gates wasn't perfect when he
100%.
started Microsoft. And, we all know, like, Steve Jobs was a visionary and not a perfect person at all.
Absolutely.
But I think that the other other thing is, I saw a quote recently that really struck me, is that your success is an act of love.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, is there's nothing, being successful means that then you can lift others up, that you can do good. And to me, the definition of success is not just making a lot of money. It's doing something you deeply care about that has positive impact. And if that's financially rewarding, that's great, because then you can also share that back.
It's value driven first. So you have to you can have the belief and live in the thought pattern of, yes, I know where this is going to end up.
Yes.
I know there's going to be financial reward, but what I'm focusing on now is delivering value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Delivering value and sharing the vision. Because when you share the vision, people buy into your vision and understand that you truly believe that it's going to go where it's going to go. And they travel that path and like, okay, now how can we jump on board with you and deliver value?
Yes. And the thing is, what you're doing, you're not selling people. There's a big difference between saying to people, this is how you can move forward, versus selling people a false vision.
Yes.
And you can
100%.
feel in your gut
Yeah.
the difference between those two.
Absolutely.
But certainly none of us ever end up being perfect, but we can share our wisdom. And the more successful you are, and you can be successful and choose to be somebody that works at a job that is lower income, or that you work for a nonprofit as a volunteer forever,
Yeah.
because you are providing value in a different way. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
financial,
Yes.
but if it is financial,
Yes.
that is good as well, because then you go out and you find that local charity.
Yeah.
And to me, in looking at philanthropy and doing good in your community, find small local organizations, because you know what, $1,000 to a small group is a much bigger impact than donating
Totally.
$1,000 to some like huge organization that it isn't even going to be a blip.
Yeah. You know, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. You should look for local organizations that need the help,
Yes.
that need the lift up, that need your donation, no matter what it is. Some people are looking for clothes. Some people are looking for household stuff. Whatever that charity is, look for the local charity, because they're giving it to local people usually who are in desperate need.
And for example, or find a mission that moves you. I have a client, Dr. J Children's Grief Center.
Dr. J's Children Grief Center.
And they work with children who are either losing or lost a parent to death, a brother or sister, or they're facing their own early death. And they provide them with grief counseling and bereavement counseling. And when you think about children and having to deal with the death of a close family member, a mom and dad, brother or sister, or even their own impending death, that is an incredible mission. So for me to fundraise for them and work with them, I'm their director of philanthropy, and I love that mission because they are doing something so important, and I see the direct impact of their work. And they're a small organization, they're GTA based, and they do amazing things. So for me, I don't need to, I support other large charities, but when people say to me, you know, I've just become, my business is really rocking and I want to give back, I say, think about what's most important to you. It could be children, environment, animals, whatever. And then look around your area and find a small organization that is going to be blown away by your support. And it doesn't just have to be financial. You can volunteer, you can sit on their board and bring your, definitely entrepreneurial skills are needed in the nonprofit sector.
Big time.
It's basically the same kind of work as you said. So it's always this idea of providing deep value to people and then giving back.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, that's the reason I think, you know, it's not money itself, is what the money can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, you know, we need to be more moral with the finances that we have. I just want to do a big shout out to Gloria Vidalingham, my mother, who's in the UK. She actually just flew back yesterday, so she arrived this morning back in the UK. She was with us for a few months, and she's going to be there for 6 weeks, and then she's coming back. So hi Mom, and hi Paul, who are watching in from the UK. Hi.
Wow.
How you doing?
We are global.
Global, yeah, and that's going to keep on going. So you do your own coaching, right?
I do. I work with entrepreneurs, and I work with people who want to get an idea across, their deepest mission, and they want to create that in a business. And so I work with entrepreneurs and small business owners, and I also work with people who are looking to make an impact by connecting them with a charity that speaks to them. And I also consult with charities and help them with their fundraising.
Fantastic.
So it's a bit of everything that I love. And to me, it's all about communication and your knowing what your purpose is.
100%. And you help people understand what their purposes are.
I think, you know what, as an entrepreneur, you have to know what your mission is and you have to be more invested in your mission than anybody else, right? Because it's
good, bad, or ugly, right?
It's a lot of work, right? So you have to believe in it 100%, and then it's being visible. Like, you have to shine.
Yes.
The people that you think about that you want to work with, people want to buy from, and they want to work with people they like.
Yes.
People whose energy is infectious to them, and that they feel like they're making a difference.
100%.
And I think if you do that as an entrepreneur, you're probably 100% ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. Again, it keeps on coming back to that value status.
Yeah.
You know, it's like value. How much value are you delivering? And you will get paid based on the value that you are delivering.
Yes.
And I think that if you look at the financials, but you look at the value more and look at the value as the financials.
Yes, because think about the people that you love to work with. It's somebody who's like, you were generous enough to invite me here, and that's a gift for me.
Yeah.
And I will remember you and be able to do that in kind. And we create that connection in that community. It's like building community anywhere.
Yeah.
And the more that you're able to give to people, the more you're going to get back. It is really that easy.
Yeah,
that
is
simple.
really the true currency, is the value.
Yeah.
And you will get paid, you know, the more value you're giving, you get paid more.
Yeah.
And it's something that is a blessing that's given to you to facilitate you to continue delivering value.
Yes. And you know what? It can be financial. Success can be financial.
Yes.
And it can also be just your positive impact in the world. It can be how you take care of your kids, how you take care of your parents, how you operate in the community.
Yeah. Because, again, it's you hit an amazing point, that success isn't based on... See, a lot of people have the world's view of what success is.
Yes.
It's financial, big house, big cars, big money, big this. But success comes in many different forms. You could, look, if your financial thermostat is, look, listen, I have a small little apartment, I have a car that works, I have my family here, and I'm keeping my overheads going.
Yeah, and you're loved.
That's it. You know, that could be, and then everything else outside of that is like, this is where my success comes. I'm the happiest person on the face of the planet. I have very little, but the amount of love, my children wanting to come back and hug with me and play with me, the fact that we all go to the park and swimming together and stuff like that.
And what you'll see is so many unhappy celebrities, which basically is an object lesson in saying that money doesn't solve everything.
100%,
It is time and it is connection. The people that live longest are in loving relationships. It may be that you're married, it may be that you have children, or it may be that you're in a loving community. But and they've just found new research about addiction. And addiction is not just a chemical reaction to a particular drug or substance. Addiction is connected with people feeling disconnected from their community and feeling hopeless. People that feel connection, people that feel hope for the future, are people that typically are not pulled into that cycle. And for us, it's telling us we need to make our communities more caring. We have to spend time being kind to others. When you're in the grocery store, talk to that person.
Yeah.
I see people in the grocery store who are on their phone while they're checking through their groceries, and it's like, come on, this is a human being standing next to you. Thank people. You know, I often will see somebody do something amazing on Facebook and I write and thank them. I would say, you know, I loved what you did. I thought, and I think that making those connections, making the world a more caring place is going to benefit all of us. That's what we're all looking for at the end of the day. We're looking to feel like we make a difference, and we want to love others and be loved back. That's success.
So, Leanne, tell us... Okay, so you work in your coaching with, do you work with groups or do you work with personals?
I do one-on-one coaching, which can be in person, and it's also on phone and Skype. I have a client in Dubai. I just worked with somebody in New Zealand on Saturday.
Wow.
So it's amazing what we can do with technology.
Absolutely.
We're global.
Sure.
I also recently was at the Power of Women Symposium right in Mississauga with Studio 89 and was doing one-on-one coaching in person.
Nice.
So I do group speaking engagements as well.
Okay.
So it's it's really whatever serves my community. And with the one-on-one clients, it's really working with people to create that vision and then really get them out there.
And with the wealth of knowledge and information that you have and the experience that you have, you know, I really believe that you have a lot of insight to bring to the table as far as people are concerned to understand where they're at and where it is that they need to be.
And to have fun while doing it. This is the thing, is people will think of work and think, "Ugh." If you inject joy into your work, if you find, when I talk to clients and they say, well, I should do an email listserv, but I hate the idea. It's like, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Do things that you're drawn to, that you love, and the other stuff can be dealt with later.
Yeah, 100%. So if there's something that you could leave our listeners and our viewers with, something important, if there's something that was on your heart that you could really leave them with, what would that be?
You make a difference. Every single day, whether you recognize it or not, you are making a difference in the world and in other people's lives.
Okay.
So you get to choose what kind of difference that you make. So think about the deep power that you have to make the world a better place with your choices and how you connect with others.
So be mindful.
Yeah, and you know what? When you start doing that, when you start being aware of connecting with people, thinking about your local environment, doing things to make it better, then you start to realize this feels good, right? It isn't just about doing good things and going out there. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good to do good.
Yeah. So you feel it and you know it.
Absolutely.
That is the right thing to do.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Leanne, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, I'm my website is purposefueled.com, so it's purposefueled with 2 L's, .com. You can also find me at leannemallet.com, and I'm addicted to Facebook. So Leanne Mallet
So's my mom.
on Facebook. Well, I love Facebook because there's a community there that, you know, you can be talking to somebody around the world and be able to connect with them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Facebook and my website is very
Facebook
easy
and your
ways.
website.
Yep.
Great. So what we'll do is that we'll take your Facebook page and we'll put it up on our fan page so that people have a way to get to you as well. Okay.
Great.
I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show, agreeing to being on the show, dropping some amazing nuggets, just having so much joy and fun as well. I love that. I think our conversations in between were the most fun.
Well, you know what? You are the same. Like that, the happiness and joy that comes from you, Brandon. Like life is short.
Yeah, it is.
Love it while you're in it.
Totally, totally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we're gonna have to have you on the show again.
I would be
at
here
some point, and we'd love to have you back. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, we're gonna throw up Leanne's link on our Facebook page, so you can have a look and get back to her as well. Amazing knowledge. But something important as well is that we have this technology, Facebook. So what I would encourage people to do is not for our sake, is for other people's sake, to pay it forward, is to take this and share it. Share it in some way that you feel, maybe on your personal page or maybe on a business page or maybe on a group that you're part of, because I'm sure that there's some information, some nuggets that somebody out there needs to hear. So I would suggest pay it forward, share this feed, share this replay so that somebody else can see it and listen to it, and it might be able to change their life in some way, shape, or form. Guys, also, I just want to mention very quickly as well, Sunday, May the 7th, 2017. Sunday, May the 7th, 2017. We have the Toronto Caribbean Business Social Marketing Network workshops. It's going to be a huge event that's held by Toronto Caribbean newspaper. It is really the most unique networking event in Toronto. There's some keynote speakers: Carlos Morgan, Mishi Me, Maestro Fresh Wes, hosted by Mark Trinidad and Jay Martin. We also had Chelsea Stewart. Guys, this is going to be an amazing event. There is still some vendor booths available. You want to call in. You want to go to the website, check it out, and get your vendor booth. I've had a vendor booth there for the past 2 years. We made back our money in the first hour, literally. So everything else after that was just gravy. So have some fun, guys. I just want to say happy Monday. Hope the rest of your week is amazing. Do something today that will make tomorrow amazing. But more importantly, do something today that makes today amazing. Pay it forward. Find a way to make somebody smile. And remember, there's no such thing as one day. Make today day one. Join me next week, same time, same place on the Breakthrough Show, 11 a.m. EST time. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Are you getting married and looking for the right person to help? Well, CMJ Entertainment, Toronto's top event planning company, is there to help. They have everything you need to make your day special. With their top DJs, limousine service, videographer, and photographer. Or maybe you just need your decor for that wow factor. For all your entertainment and planning needs, call them at 416-414-8964 or online at cmjentertainment.com. Your one-stop shop.
You want to see and witness what pure sports and competition is like. When you come to Special Olympics, get involved because it's about choices and chances. The choice is yours to help or not help. The chance is that the Special Olympics athletes deserve a chance to compete. Without your help, that chance is hard to come by.